All right, so let's go back to the login page. What about handling users that don't exist, right? You're trying to log in with a username and password that are wrong, right? Right now, what's happening is that we log in, and notice that we get an error message, right? It's coming back with a notice that we didn't find the user. We didn't find the user. But the object came back as a empty object, right? Let's see what came back. Let's see over here. It went out, okay, and I believe our logic in our login controller, let's see what comes back right here. Let's put a breakpoint on the login controller. Source login controller. Here's the promise. Let's put a breakpoint right here. And let's go back and do some bogus things here, right? So the server came back. The server comes back, but it comes back as empty. See that? But our logic says if it's not null, then go ahead. All right. But here we're trying to get a hold of an ID of a login user that's undefined, right? So we have to be a little more careful here, right? So let's rewrite this to handle these kinds of error messages, right? But notice that we are nevertheless navigating to the profile, passing an undefined user ID, right? Because this user doesn't exist, right? And that's why we get another error message in the network, saying that we're looking for a user for undefined, right? For user undefined, right? And we get a 4. Okay, so let's handle that. On the server side. On the server side, find user by credentials. What we could do is, let's see, we have a user find a user here, and so let's see what comes back here. Let's do a console log user. So let's refresh. What happens when we try to log in with something that doesn't exist? Let's put this on the left-hand side. Let's close this. We say login. Okay, so the server is complaining. So the server is complaining undefined. All right, so it comes back as undefined, right? It comes back as undefined. So we could make a logic here saying that if user, meaning if user is not null, it's not empty, it's an actual object, we're going to send back a user. We're going to send back a user, right? Otherwise, we're going to send back an error message. Right? We're going to send back response.send status. Send status. So 404 is not found. We could use some other error message. 503, I believe, is unauthorized, right? Saying that I don't know who you are, right? You're trying to get in here, and then and maybe we can send an error message saying user not found or something. For username, and then put username and password, and then send back the password that you used. Okay, so let's do that. Let's restart the server. All right, and in here, if we go back to the login and do this, notice that now it's coming back with a 503. Is it? Let me see. Let's close this. Ooh, failed. Wait a minute. Oops. We can send headers after they have 21. Oh, wait. Okay, that's later. Oh, that's later. That's later. Oh, and let's see the terminal. What else do we get any of the other errors? Run. Okay. All right. That's later on. What do we get from the server? Failed 503. Username. Is this pending? It's not pending, is it? No. Actually, let's send just a 404. Wait a minute. Let's send a 404. restart. And username. All right, so we can catch this error on the client side. On the client side, in the controller, we can say that if it's successful, we do this, right? Promise that success, we do that. Or if there's an error, right? Notice we have the promise has two functions, right? We can register two different functions. One function will be invoked, right, if the server comes back with something successful, and the other function will be invoked if the server comes back with an error, right? And we can do a console log error. Let's see what comes back from the server. And the console. All right, so we are getting into that error. And so, for instance, we could say we could provide a user not found. Let's see. User not found. Right. So we don't continue. But if we do find the user, Bob and Bob, right, it finds it and then it goes to the next place. Right. So you can handle error messages inside of .error and successful in the .success. Make sense? All right. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, right. You get the metadata about what type of error you got. Yes. Yep.